Guam Community College Board of Trustees monthly meeting Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. That's now begun. Can we get a roll call?
Yes. Frank Ariola.
Here.
Carlo Leonguero.
Here.
Richard Sablon.
Here.
Rose Guino.
Here.
Gina Ramos. She apologizes. Yolanda Perdones. She apologizes as well. Kenley McWeedy. He's in class. We have a quorum. Dr. Mary Okada. Here. Kenneth Bautista. Simone Bollinger. Attorney Laura Montanonia. That's it.
Thank you. A recital of the mission statement.
Guam Community College is a leader in career and technical workforce development, provide the highest quality student-centered education and job training for migration.
Okay, monthly minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Carlo?
My motion.
This is okay. Let's review the minutes.
This is the present of board meeting.
Yeah. Any comments, any changes required? Wait a couple more minutes. You guys, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a vote on it. All those approve the minutes. Say
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Let's move forward. Communications, any requests?
No communications to submit.
Okay, how about public discussion?
No request for public discussion.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move forward with the president's report.
Okay, starting off with the financial status of the college. Year to date, we have received a little over $2 million from all the appropriations.
Good.
1.6 million from the general fund, 400,000 from MDF, and $12,000 for the PSAP program. And so that equates to about 53% based on our appropriation schedule, which is really good. But we, again, continue to receive regular allotment releases from the Department of Administration. So that's good. In terms of other components, and thanks to the chairman, we did have a meeting with a representative from the food truck industry, so helping to help support increasing workforce development opportunities for them, and also to support possible apprenticeship. So that was set up, and we're doing some follow-up with that. Also representatives from University of Hawaii, actually they're supporting through a contract the Pearl Harbor shipyard here on Guam. And so they've come to us, they're actually looking for students for mechanical engineering. So for us, it's automotive that can help. So we're going to continue that conversation. He'll be back here in December. But we're hoping that we could align with some of our automotive programs. They have a relationship right now with the university because ULG is not focusing on mechanical engineering, but we're hoping it's going to be some kind of a fit for our students that may want to start off in automotive and then pursue. So we're working with UH on that as well. And then we were talking a little bit earlier before the meeting about the relationship that we are now establishing with the American Association of Community Colleges, the AACC group, and Snap-on Tools. And so as we start to refurbish and renovate buildings 600 and 500, which is automotive and construction, there's a couple of things that we're interested in. One is we used to have a representative here on the wall for the Snap-on Tools. We have a lot of Snap-on tool equipment here on campus, and so, you know, it's been a long time, but we're looking to potentially get some guidance from them on the type of precision instruments that they have and updated tools. But I guess the key point behind it, though, is actually identifying and finding a representative that can service the region. So we have a connection as an educational institution to purchase some equipment from a representative who's in Florida, but for the larger market of one, we need to have really a distributor here. So we will follow up on that conversation, and there's a follow-up in a couple of weeks for them to bring on their, identify who their government representative is here on the wall. So the college completed its fall assembly on Halloween. And we did a lot of training for all the employees. We covered a lot of the insurance requirements like Title IX, sexual harassment, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We had FERPA training, and we also had the drug and alcohol abuse prevention and then accreditation updates. And I'll provide more information on the accreditation updates later on in the agenda. In addition, so we're also working with, we did receive scholarships from the Wayland family. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for helping us facilitate that. We did have 5 students. Some students received $2,000 scholarships, and a couple students received $1,000 scholarships.
What are they allowed to use the scholarships for here? I think it's a good question.
It's tuition, fees, books, yeah, cost of education for them. And then we also, actually our student trustee's not here, but he received probably one of the largest awards from APIA Scholars.
Wow.
And so he was recently granted, he's been an applicant for APIA, but he received one of the largest awards that we've received from APIA Scholars. And so we continue to encourage our students to apply for that funding for them. And again, that also helps to cover the cost of education. He's been applying for several of the scholarships that we have. And one thing we know is that we have a lot of scholarship opportunities, and it really comes down to how many students really apply. And in some cases we get several, but in many cases we get a couple. And so we're encouraging students to do that. One of the projects that we're working on right now really is on our integrated database system. So as we know, we are in the managed cloud services, which is no longer going to be supported after a couple of years. So our basic Elution contract is now converting to what they call SaaS, which is software as a service, which integrates already the cloud-based services. It will be integrated into the new platform. I will present at the next meeting the cost, because we have to make an initial investment, but over time it will be a lot cheaper. We're spending right now, I would say, about $800,000 on all of the services that we have to support the integrated service. Integrated platform.
And we're using the Google cloud base. Google is the only one that did not get hacked so far.
Well, we're working on all of that. Plus, we also have to have the multi-factor authentication, which is the dual. So that students who access their account, so we're working on that component as well. But we do have to make a decision on this in the next couple of months, primarily because right now we're on a rollover contract. But at some point we will be de-supported because they're getting off the Oracle platform. So it's no longer Oracle based. So we're paying to Oracle right now we're paying for the cloud managed services, we're paying for the software, and so this is gonna be now a new compilation, but we have to get through what the internal capacity is and how to migrate into the new platform based on the capability we have and what support we need. But it will require some initial investment
I was gonna ask that question.
that.
What are your anticipated costs for the
So
transition?
I would say over a 2-year period, right now, I'm looking at maybe $1.5 million over a 2-year period, but over the long term, it will save us significant funding. So anyway, and then one of the other things that we've also been dealing with right now is I mentioned the multi-factor authentication that is required specifically for financial aid because of the student access, and then of course conversion of our IT platform. And we were at the front end of all of this many years ago, and so now we're lagging a little bit behind because we've not been aggressive in keeping up to date in our applications. And so unfortunately, the company is migrating to something a little bit more user-friendly and less costly for their customers. And so we're hoping to get back on track.
That 1.5 includes training our faculty or staff, or is it transparent?
So the 1.5 is going to include the cost for us to migrate.
Just to migrate?
Part of it is, about half of it is the migration, because it's going to be extensive hours. So back in 2007, when we moved from our different platforms for different components, we had student information on one system and one software. We had financial aid on, and I remember we called it, it was Dynalogic, but we had the HR system and the business office system, and they were not connected. So doing that migration, we actually had in 2007 person on the ground for about a year to help us do the migration. The biggest piece of that was the student information component. But now these components remain intact. It's the platform it sits on that we're doing the migration for. So the data remains intact. It's how the data is delivered is where it becomes different.
Did we do some internal audit on the risk exposure, especially on the finance and the HR side?
So we're protected. We're protected in terms of we have in place several mechanisms to protect the data.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, the whole cybersecurity component. We have looked at cybersecurity training. We continue to offer the training. We continue to put up firewalls. We do, as a requirement of our audit, there's what they call penetration testing that is required. And so that is done consistently because that's a requirement for the audit. And then based on the testing that is done, there are certain upgrades or modifications that need to be done as a result. So we're being compliant in terms of having those mechanisms in place. But this again really addresses having information in the cloud for continuity of services, so that in case typhoon hits, we're able to access all of the information.
We went to cloud-based.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big investment when we went cloud-based, and so now it will remain cloud-based, but on a different platform.
It's a huge amount, but eventually will.
A lot of businesses were hacked during the storm. Yeah, so
Oh, that's true.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Timeline, what is it? There's a rollover, right? So our contract's ending, I'm assuming this month or next month.
So if we extend the current contract, then the contract will be built to include the migration. The migration could take about 18 months, but at least it gets us to there and we're not de-supported in the process. But if we don't do anything and we wait 18 months, then we will be de-supported trying to get updated.
And that would be a big jump.
So as soon as I finalize the financial component of it, then it will be before the board.
Yes, and this wasn't part of our budget when we first came into it.
That's
right?
correct.
This is
That's
outside.
How come
No.
our-
This is not, yes.
It's not in the current 24 budget.
No.
But remember, when you're continuing on one and you're implementing another, there's some duplication
Okay.
because you're maintaining.
Yeah.
But once I get through the financials, it will be on the board meeting for the
Yeah,
next.
please keep us posted. Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So that's where we are on that. In terms of capital projects, there are several projects that are currently still ongoing. The air conditioning contract, actually, we have two components that were awarded. The FEMA component for replacement of air conditioners caused by Typhoon Mawar, and then replacement of regular air conditioning systems that were down prior to. So that has already been awarded.
Good.
The rest of the CIP projects really are on the construction update.
Okay.
And I'll provide that information.
Thank you very much. Monthly activities report. Well, Ken's not here. Do we move forward? There's nobody.
Sorry, I missed the last meeting. I was actually part of a 2-day working meeting with some of our partners in the Chamorro program.
Good.
We'll be able to talk about that.
Before you move on, how do they go?
Or,
How did your meetings with the Chamorro program?
well, we put forward a resolution to the legislature to support Chamorro media and education, and then they said, okay, give us a plan. So we had to spend those 2 days putting together a plan, which I'm going to present to the President of God, and then we'll present it to the legislature for approval. But it's, GCC, what we're doing here, UOG, Chamorro Studies, GDOE, Chamorro Studies, the Commission, Ikini Chamorro, and HARAP, Chief HARAP, are all members of this board that are working together on this resolution. So we have a big plan that we're hoping will get funded, but
Well, we can't wait to see it, and I'd love to be able to support it if it's.
some updates. We had the college assembly on October 31st, and the union did a training on the agreement afterwards, and we'll be continuing to train. We also have one coming up this Friday, the PEIC, which is the Professional Development Initiatives Committee, is doing faculty-led workshops. So between 3 and 5 on Friday, they have an agenda going, and we'll be on there training some more too. So that committee which is a newer, it took shape with the agreement. It took a new shape, and so they're working on that as well. There was the Assessment and Counseling Department College and Career Night and Family Roadmap last Thursday. So different departments and faculty members presented. I know there were a lot of students from GW that came. And then there were also a lot of GCC students that came just for advisement within their programs because there's representation there.
Okay, so I'll just let you know, I spoke to a parent whose child from GW comes here, and it's night and day when they go to school here versus back in the States. So they just like, you come to school here full time. I said, we'll work on it.
Yeah, so I know that was well represented. A lot of faculty were there. We also had the Finata Nina Fit Meeting, which was our Chamorro program student showcase last Wednesday. We have four cohorts right now, Chamorro teachers, that are funded through an ENA grant through the Commission. And because this is the one semester where all 4 of those cohorts the first cohort is done this semester, and the last cohort that is scheduled is starting this semester. So we took over the MPA. Each class had its own room. So one of the classes is immersion methods with Emery Arceo. So they did a carnival. Trustee Gringo was there, and we invited the students from the Families Options and Equal program, which is the immersion program at PCU Long. Harrell students, and one class of St. Francis students are one group, and they did the carnival in the first one, where it was all around the ocean and protecting it, everything in Chamorro. So even the teachers that are in our program were speaking to the students, the little kids in Chamorro. The next class was the teaching history through performing arts. And so Vince Reyes teaches that class, and those students taught the students a Canta Chamarita song about Serena, and then they performed it at the very end. The third class is Chamorro composition. So they did a little bit of the orthography, which is funny for the little kids, but they also did two-person poetry, which was very neat for the kids. And then the last room was my room. Students, it's best practices for literacy instruction. So the students have all written children's books in Chamorro, and they presented those, they illustrated them.
Oh, wow.
We turned it into reading corners, divided up the kids. They were all on the Orfax, the mats. We had to turn the lights down, and we had these reading corners. And then the kids came, and everything was in Chamorro, which was pretty amazing. And I don't know that there's been anything done in the last, however many years where the language of instruction, of use, of everything, even the kids. So I know a lot of the administrators came, and everybody was just saying how nice it was to hear all the kids speaking Chamorro and understanding and just going back and forth and playing and doing things. So it was a big success.
Can we do more of that stuff? I mean, is it something that we can support you with?
Yeah.
Sounds like, did the kids enjoy themselves?
They had a great time. We got so much feedback from their teachers too, because they do the immersion program, but there's not a lot of spaces outside of their program that are in Chamorro, where everything's in Chamorro. So to bring the kids to basically a carnival,
Yeah.
It's all interactive, all fun, colorful. They really appreciate it. The teachers really appreciate it.
It's great we can recruit them to come to GCC after they're finished with high school. Right?
Yeah. So that program is growing, and the consortium meeting, or the working meeting I was at, the last meeting, is about Chamorro medium education. So having more schools that teach science, math, English in Chamorro, right? And so we're trying to grow that, which our program right now supports the training for those teachers, but also for our GBOE Chamorro Studies teachers. So that's what we have now, is 4 classes pretty much of GBOE Chamorro teachers, which was really cool because then they have that skill of being in for the students. So it was really cool.
Very good.
And yeah, I think that's all right.
Okay. Quick. Right, Board of Trustees, community outreach.
I attended, actually, when I hear these kids speaking in full Chamorro, I'm not a Chamorro, but having immersed in that culture and actually give me goosebumps.
Really?
Just to hear, because I deal with a lot of review like Chamorro, and I hardly hear somebody who would speak in a whole sentence in Chamorro. I deal with it. It's usually a combination of, right?
Yeah.
But it's really nice that I see the kids' excitement. I was able to go around before the opening ceremony, so I really have to talk, and I think that's something we need to support moving forward and have that a yearly event. It's a trip for the kids to go and have that in a fun learning setting. But you guys miss out. I ate the tortillas made of
Coconut?
Really?
no, not coconut. The other one, the
Mana.
yeah.
Which is
That's
coconut.
coconut.
coconut,
Yeah.
which is somebody
Oh, yeah.
made it on a traditional way, which is like so that's kind of a trick for me. But it's really nice. It's very interactive. I like that too. Poetry thing that I kind of talk about that in that area, that the man and the two persons.
The 2-person poetry.
Yeah, that kind of interesting is actually, so it's really, I'm glad I was able to.
Well, thank you
before
for
I go to
attending for the
work.
board. Appreciate it.
I'm just close by,
Yeah.
so I plan to, before going to the office, so it's kind of really nice to attend that. Aside from that, I just want to share with the team that actually the Governors Association is so thankful with our IT students. We are actually partnering with our students or GCC to help us rebuild our Governors Association website. So it's an ongoing project, so we're so excited to have that partnership as one of their projects. I look forward to the product of our students and helping out
They're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Very
They're
good.
building up the website for us, so and I'm excited about that. So the other things, tomorrow I'll be attending the roadmap to end leprosy in Guam. I know we kind of sharing this, we think it's vanished or it's not one, but we do have cases in Guam, so I'll be participating in putting together a roadmap in how we can address that and see how, especially when we have students from, different places, so that's something I could share back here. It's something for us to look into, because we accept students, especially in our neighboring areas, because there is, those are the things that we thought we eliminated, but it's kind of a resurfacing out, so.
Learned something today.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, do you have anything to report? Trustees and members? Okay. All right, let's move forward. Thank you very much. All right, unfinished business.
Starting off with the Wellness Center, so that application now is moving forward. We've got all the components necessary to submit to USDA. So Dr. Julie will be meeting with USDA to review all the documents prior to official submission. The one piece we're waiting for, we just got the information this morning, is we have to show a denial for credit. So we're already working on that, and we got the final information this morning, so that will be submitted. Hopefully we'll get that soon. But that is now in motion.
Okay, so that if we worked it forward, are we looking, about within 6 months to maybe get an answer?
Oh, I hope so.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Hopefully the CR doesn't affect the resolution, but
Okay.
hopefully by the end of 6 months we should be able to get it.
Okay.
In terms of building B, so building B is now almost at 55%. They are doing concrete pouring now and curing. We actually have the ACs already delivered for that project, so.
So it was the extension of the roof project from the last
Yes, so
minute.
we do have an extension on this, and basically related to Walmart. And so that is going through. Yes, the building is going to be 2-story, and so yes, it's doubling in its size.
Is the shell complete?
I don't think it's quite done,
Okay, still
but,
gotta try to find that then.
yeah. And then Workforce Development Center is now out to bid. So that went out last week. So that is already in motion.
And, yeah, please extend my appreciation to the whole team for getting this out.
And Culinary Arts and Baking Center is Culinary Arts and Baking Center. So we knew prior to this construction that we may have some issues with the roof. So now we're working with the architects because they may need to replace the roof.
Okay.
So they're working from that. They're currently doing demolition work in terms of the walls, the electrical plant, panels, the plumbing, excavation of the and installation of sewer lines and pipes. But
Do we have anything on the roof right now, or is there any mechanical equipment?
so there are air conditioners up there. We did not intend to replace the roof, but
Yeah.
it looks like we might have to. So, I mean, that'll be a change order, and I'm still waiting for the final design and costing on it. So,
That's gonna be, that's great.
but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
better for us to fix it on the onset than to have issues with leaks moving going forward. Our building 2000 generator is now at 80% complete. We did have to issue a little bit of a change order a couple of days ago that I signed off on, primarily because they came across some utilities when they were doing the excavation. So,
We had a pipe?
well, they hit the pipe.
Yeah.
So that's how we found out the pipe was there. We thought all along the pipe was running a different route, and so
Is it water?
it was water.
Okay.
So one of the things we've now requested for F&M to do is put out for as-built We thought we had it as-built many years ago, so we just now need to go back and do it we need to know where everything is.
Yeah.
There's been so much change over the past, we need to know where the older lines are. And because that building was built in 2001, it's more than 20 years. We just need to know where it is.
Do you have any idea what our water bill is like? So I'm assuming we're gonna start saving once we finish that as we'll find some.
Well, no, because we did leak detection
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
and we found several leaks, and our plumbers have been fixing those leaks, so.
You know, it's actually a good idea to continue to do it because of the earthquakes that we've been having. We've been having substantial.
So they are
Good timing.
monitoring the water usage. There's a report that we produce every month that lets folks know every quarter. I see it because in order for us to load the budget, I need to see what they spent in the first quarter. So we load the budget quarterly for that power and water, so we're able to see. And if it escalates, then we're able to see it on the report that we submit. So it's being monitored. So that's building 2000 generator. And that's it. I already talked about the AC replacements.
Okay, thank you. Accreditation update.
Okay, so for the accreditation updates, I do have something, basically this was presented during the college assembly. So a lot of this information was presented. We do have the chair now of our accreditation team already identified. So we received a letter from ECCJC identifying the chair of the peer review team is Dr. Sunita Cook, who is the superintendent president of Miracosta College. And her vice chair is Dr. Lisa Cardoza, who is the president of American River College. And so even though our visit is not until 2025, the chair and the vice chair have already been identified. Our report again is due August 1st. The ICE first report, the team ICER review, this is the chair, the vice chair, and their team will review in October of 2024. And the scheduled site visit will be March of 2025, March 3rd. So on college assembly, which was on October 31st, there was an update on all the progress that the standard committee members, all the members were introduced and where they are in terms of their progress. Everybody was engaged in breakout sessions in the afternoon so that the committee members can explain what the standards are and how to engage faculty, staff, and administrators in providing information to support how we meet or exceed the accreditation standards and maybe some areas of additional evidence that they may have, and to, of course, solicit input from everyone. The institution set standards were provided by our assistant director, Kathy Solida, and that came from the ER office. Although secondary faculty were not able to attend, a recording was made, and so they'll receive the announcement later today to review all the required training, because the training for the insurance on FERPA, sexual harassment, those are all mandatory trainings for our insurance. And so they'll receive that recording so they can review the assembly and all of that. The first draft of the standards committee is due this Friday, so we have a pretty aggressive timeline that Dr. Gina and Dean Pilar have put together, and they will receive all the drafts and review them and provide feedback to the faculty members when they return in January. So that's the update in terms of accreditation, but everything is ongoing, and 2024 is around the corner, so we should be, there's a lot of information, and in the session that I sat on during the college assembly, I encourage every single person in that room, because their job basically, it was in the finance component. So their job basically tapped one or two components of that standard. And so they needed to, one, review it for accuracy, and two, provide additional data if they had data to support any of these standards. So it should be, because it's institution-wide and we're allowing everyone to participate, it should be a very robust and rich report that is eventually generated. And basically it's telling the story of the institution, where we are, what we need to do to move forward, and identifying even areas of gaps that we've already pre-identified that help for institutional improvement. And so it's part of the process for accreditation, and that's the report.
Thank you for the update. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like we're in good hands. This appears to be getting better and better every time we come around for accreditations.
Yeah.
So that every Friday, I think it's only when we get a chance to attend, it's kind of pretty, 4 hours.
Yeah.
But, you know, if there's a request, I mean, if there's an area of interest that the board would have, we can always ask Angela and her team to record it.
Okay.
And the board can actually review it and then present any questions that you may have regarding it. So there's an opportunity for us to do some recording, and we're doing recording now.
That would be
It's something that we can also.
Good suggestion.
visible, more visible.
Plus, it allows the board to contribute
Yeah.
and to be engaged in the process.
Okay, new business, DOT travels.
So there's 2 items that were left in the minutes at the last meeting, and one of them was just the official authorization to the board that was interested in attending the Asia Pacific Association for Fiduciary Training, APAPS, that is here in Manila, November 27th to December 23rd, dependent on the training interests that the board may have. So that is on the agenda for your approval. And the second one is actually in January of 2024, which is in New Orleans, and this is the Workforce Development Institute. This is the, right now we have the draft schedule that was presented by AACC, and this is in the conversation that the chairman and I had with Jen Worth from AACC and the different areas that the college can participate in.
Okay.
And so your approval of these 2 will just allow for the college to proceed with the board's travel.
Do you guys have any questions on either the training in fiduciary training in the Philippines or the AACC Workforce Development Institute? Any questions? If not, we get a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We're voting for both, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's based on who's interested, just to let us know so that Ms. Bertha can make the arrangements.
Thank you very much. President's travel request.
And on this travel request is the meeting in Porfra, Pacific Resource for Education and Learning. This is where I serve as a member of the board, and this is funded by the trust.
Go ahead. Thank you. Can we get a motion to approve the president's travel schedule?
So moved.
Sorry, thank you. If no objections, the motion passes. Let's move forward into executive session.
I move.
You vote? Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Simone.
Motion to open.
Okay, let's move into regular session. Dr. Cotto, just want to thank you again for your continued hard work. Please extend to the to the team, the entire school, that we're really happy with all the reports that we received on accreditation, and please just continue to work together, and let us know how we can support. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the president's report?
So moved.
Second, no objection, motion passes. And just want to say thank you guys for showing up today, and the motion is, meeting is now adjourned.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I got one more buzz.